Hello and welcome to Around the Bases with MLB insider Jon Heyman. We're going to go and talk about all the top stories in baseball. We're going to start with Yankees and Mets as always. It is Friday, May 10th. Jon, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well. And let's start with the Yankees here. An impressive series against the Astros, taking 2 out of 3. The offense seemed to get some life here. And Jon, while we were worried about the pitching rotation, and they've been great to start the year, without a doubt, the offense has had its moments where it struggled, but they were dominant. They blew up Justin Verlander in his
Yes.
start. What are you taking away from what the Yankees, Juan Soto, Verdugo, Judge is starting to turn around? What are you making of this Yankees team and what they've been doing so far this season?
Yeah, I think it's been a great start overall for the Yankees. Obviously, Soto's been fantastic, but that pitching, wow. I mean, I think they're second in the league, second in baseball to the Red Sox, which the Red Sox, it's a surprise. I don't think that's going to last, but give them credit while they're up there. Yankees are second. I think they're here at just about 3 right now. So Yankees looking really great. The pitching, fantastic. Considering Cole's out, even better. Rodon's been good. Stroman's been fine. Cortez has been good. Heel has been good. I mean, the
Wow.
rotation has been really good, and the bullpen's been good. So, yeah, I was briefly in touch with Hal Steinbrenner via email, and he was very impressed by the rotation. And like you, sees the offense coming around. Obviously, it's been up and down. They had 2 games in a row with 15 runs, and then they didn't score for a little while when they played a little better team. I think it was the Orioles next.
Yep.
And, they've been a little bit up and down, but generally, they're on the right track, really. I mean, the Yankees are looking really, really good.
Yeah, they really have. And to your point, the offense, maybe I'm crazy here, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Verdugo getting moved to that cleanup spot has all of a sudden made this lineup just they seem to be performing better. Do you think that's been the most impressive part too? Is the fact that Verdugo can step in that cleanup spot and yep, no problem, coach, I got you, and he's made an impact there in that cleanup role.
Yeah, well, I think Verdugo has been really good. He's been excellent defensively. He's hit well. I mean, he's been an excellent addition. I wouldn't get married to him as the cleanup hitter. They've moved things around quite a bit, right? I mean, we've seen Stan bat fourth. We've seen Rizzo bat fourth. I mean, maybe Glaber will bat fourth when he heats up. I think it's kind of open. It's kind of like the leadoff right now. It's Volpe, and maybe Volpe will stick there. Obviously, they started with Glaber. I think they were hoping it would be DJ. You mentioned Verdugo. He was a leadoff hitter too. So, I mean, Soto 2, Judge 3, those are solidified. Those we're married to. The rest of them, I think they're going to move it around a little bit depending on who's hot, righty, lefty, all sorts of things like that. But obviously, Verdugo has been a big, big addition. I mean, they weren't too good in left field last year. Now they have a guy who's really, I think, above average as a left
Yes.
fielder and good offensively, good for that ballpark. I think he's going to hit more home runs than he's ever hit. I mean, it's been a big addition. Not the biggest addition. That
No.
obviously is Juan Soto, who at this point, and I said it, I think everybody agrees, I would think at this point, is the MVP in the American League. Been incredible. I mean, I guess they're Gunnar Henderson fans, and a week ago I was like back and forth, but I mean, Soto, incredible. Every at bat is a pleasure. Really looks like he's enjoying it. They are obviously going to try to keep him very hard. And, I did interview him, I don't know, about 10 days ago and asked him about it. And he was non-committal, which not to be expected that we think he's going to say, oh, I want to stay with the Yankees. They're all thinking about the negotiation or whatever. I get it. I do think he's loving it. Does that mean he's definitely going to stay? No guarantees there, obviously. We'll see. The Mets are the other team that we think possibly for Soto. So I do think Soto will be a New Yorker. That I can say. You can save the tape, but I do think he'll be a New Yorker one way or the other. And the Yankees should keep him. They are the New York Yankees after all, right?
I mean, I was there last Saturday against the Tigers. I've never seen anything like it, Jon. Maybe it's recency bias, but when he goes out there, the fans go insane just for when he comes out in the
Yeah.
field. He does the game left field, right field, playing with the fans who can get louder. I think he's loving it. I think he's eating up every moment and
Yeah.
seeing the passion that the fans have for having him to be just the pleasure of watching him every single day, like you said, and every at bat. It just really is. It's refreshing to see
Yeah.
as Yankees fans.
He enjoys
Finally,
it. I mean, no question about it. I mean, that he loves the roll call. We talked about that. He gets into it. I mean, he's having fun. Why wouldn't he? He's got 1,000 OPS at this point. I mean, he has been amazing. Really has been.
He really has. And real quick, John, just to wrap this whole Yankees discussion up, Gerrit Cole, we see him throw off the mound a couple of times. What's your sense here on his return timeline? Are we getting any
Yeah.
closer there to Gerrit Cole making his season debut?
I think June 20th is probably a good estimate. I've been told mid-June, about a week ago. I think they'll be cautious. Why wouldn't they be cautious? I mean, they're doing great right now. Obviously, he's the best pitcher in baseball. Maybe I shouldn't say obviously, but we're in New York. I can say that, right? I mean, Zach Wheeler's pretty good, but who else is even as good as Gerrit Cole? I don't think anybody. So, I think assuming all goes well, we're talking he's basically at the beginning of spring training here. So June 20th is realistic. They certainly will not rush it. They're going to be smart about it. No need to rush it anyway. Everything's good with the Yankees. The only thing that was negative was that I got COVID on when I went to the Yankee game on Tuesday. I'm not blaming the Yankees. They can blame me. And I don't know what you're supposed to do now, but I'd interviewed 10 Yankees and I had to try to contact all of them and let them know. And, they were like nothing. Well, they're young, they're healthy, and thankfully for them, I only talked to each one of them for about 30 seconds. So thankfully, I'm not typhoid Johnny. I don't think I gave it to anybody. They're all still playing. Who did I talk to? I talked to Rodon, Cole, Trevino, Birdie, Boone.
John, could you imagine the story if you had gotten the whole entire Yankees team? In fact, I mean, that would have been,
somebody would have high hit, not mentioned it. But I think it's, to be fair, they have kids. They have, you never know, and I want people to know.
yes.
So I'm relieved that none of them did. Thankfully, I don't keep any of them for more than 30 seconds at a time. They were short interviews, and I didn't pass it on. And I have a very mild case. I'm already have no temperature, so.
Well, I'm relieved that you're doing this with us as always. You're a trooper, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you always giving us your latest. So let's pivot to the New York Mets here. And speaking of season debut, we saw the season debut of Christian Scott, top pitching prospect for the Mets. He looked awesome against the Tampa Bay Rays. He's set to make his Citi Field debut tomorrow, John, and I believe it's against the Braves. So,
Right,
I mean, this is a pretty big start for him tomorrow. But what did you take away from Christian Scott's performance against the Rays last weekend?
Well, terrific. I mean, it's not easy. Your debut in his home state of Florida. He is from Fort Lauderdale. He facing the Rays, who are really good, and did a very nice job. He shows poise. We were hearing about him in spring training, and he's delivering. And I hate to be Pollyanna, but I'm pretty positive on the Mets too, right at the moment. I know they're right around 500 as we do this, but. A lot of their signings have worked out. Severino's been good. Manaya's been really good. Quintana, who's pitching tonight as we do this. Is it tonight or?
Yeah, it's tonight. Quintana's slated to pitch
right.
tonight.
So he's doing okay. The bullpen has been good, right? I mean, Lopez has been really good.
Bullpen's been phenomenal.
Reed Garrett, fantastic. Yeah, I mean. And I feel like Alonso's coming around. They have JD Martinez now to help him out. I think he found something with Alonso's swing that got him going. Lindor's doing better. Nimmo's good. They're 500, but they feel like a better than 500 team.
They definitely do. And this is a big series against the Braves, right? Like, I mean, if you could put some damage against the Braves, maybe take 2 out of 3, show that, you guys are for a playoff contender possibly this year, stick around, like you said, that 500 mark. And to your point, Alonso, I mean, they sat him down, right? And credit to Mendoza. He's like, listen, I want to give him a little reset. He comes back, and all of a sudden, Alonso, he has a double, then a home run against the Cardinals. And it's like, all right, maybe that wakes him up here a little bit,
Yeah, he looked great against the Cardinals. I heard that Martinez gave him a little bit of adjustment, something with his swing. I couldn't repeat it because I don't know anything about it. But, he's a key guy, obviously a key guy for that team, along with Lindor and Nimmo and Martinez. And, I think Mendoza's done a great job so far. I think he's really handled things well. He didn't panic when they started 0-5. He seems really like a guy on an even keel. And I've been impressed by him. And, I think things are going generally well. They did win 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. They won 2 out of 3 at the Dodgers. So, I mean, those are good signs.
They really are. John, let's pivot to our next topic here. I can't believe I'm already asking you about trade candidates, but then we got
already
the news.
had one. Yeah,
I was just about to say, Luis Arias all of a sudden, surprisingly, gets traded away. So, first off, what are you hearing on the trade market? What are some of these leading trade candidates you think we could be looking at here at May 10th already?
Well, I mean, the only thing I'm hearing, I mean, I wouldn't say the only thing, but the main thing I'm hearing is that basically from what rivals are telling me is that everybody on the Marlins is up for grabs. So I don't want to use the word fire sale. People don't like that word, but they're selling. And so they certainly have some pieces that teams will be interested in. Luzardo, who's just coming back right now as we speak, as we do this, it's being activated. He looked good in his rehab start, coming back from an elbow situation, has 2 more years after this one to go of control. So he's a guy that people will like. Tanner Scott's another guy, the bullpen piece who was really good as a closer last year with the Marlins. So, I mean, those are the things that could happen somewhat soon. Obviously, we saw them trade a rise. So they're willing to say, we're not really in it this year. So we're going to make trades. So I can say that about the Marlins. The other ones, not too likely to come soon or anytime in the next even month, but it's worth considering. Certainly a lot of big names, and I wrote about this for the Post. What are some big names that could be traded by the deadline? And we're talking about guys generally on underperforming teams that you wouldn't expect. The guys on Toronto, Bichette and Vladdy, the White Sox, Luis Robert, when he comes back, should be soon. Certainly the guys on the Astros, Verlander, Bregman, maybe even Tucker.
Wow.
Cardinals, Nolan Arenado. So a lot of possibilities of big names. More likely would be those Marlins guys, maybe Mason Miller. Oh, that's a gamble. Even for the A's, they have no fans to lose, I mean, but it is a nice story. Got 6 years of control. It's going to be tough for them to trade him. They are getting some hits on him already, but a lot of big names potentially could be traded by the deadline. The guys on the Astros, the Jays, Cardinals, those kind of teams that are really underperforming. There are teams that are underperforming by even more, like the Rockies, but who do they
Right.
have to trade? Nobody, right? So no
Well, it
Rockies
is.
talk.
Listen, I can't believe we're doing trade talk here on May 10th already. But like to your point, Arias getting traded to the Padres. You're just like, what
It's
is
gone.
going on? It's
Right.
crazy, crazy. Let's bring this all home, John. Disappointing team of the week. What do you got?
Well, I'm gonna, it could be the Reds because they didn't win one game, but the Marlins did win a game, and it's a little unfair because they played the Dodgers, and I don't expect them to ever beat the Dodgers, but they're my disappointing team because they've already given up. Now, do I blame them? Not really. I mean, they don't have that many fans either. I guess they want to rebuild their team. That's their decision. It's a little bit disappointing, I think, for the fans. They do have a team that did make the playoffs last year with an outstanding young manager, Skip Schumacher. I don't still know why they forced out Kim Ang, who I thought was a terrific general manager. Made no sense whatsoever. Led to Schumacher then asking that his team option be dissolved, taken away, whatever you want to say. They agreed, which was very kind of them. So we know he's a short timer. He's not there long. And I could say that for a lot of their players too. Doesn't feel like Luzardo, Scott, and some others will be there that long either. Sad.
Sir, yes, sad and certainly an interesting situation developing that down there in South Beach. To your point, the fact that they made the playoffs last year, maybe they had something going and just it's not working out clearly with the way that things have developed here. If you're watching this video, obviously we talk to John all the time about baseball during the season. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel at the New York Post Sports. John, we appreciate you as always for going around the bases, man.
All right. It's been fun, Ryan.